All right, well, we're an hour away from the Trump rally in Pittsburgh. You can see out there people are protesting in the Keystone State. Protesters are marching ahead of the rally. Back with me now, Steve Rogers and Jan Morgan. All right, guys. Protesters, we've seen it before. Let's talk about it now. What do you make of it? Jan?
You know, I'm really not surprised.
Yeah.
Protesting is fine. That's part of the American way. I only have an issue with protests when they actually hinder the ability, the free speech rights of other people that they're protesting. That's where I have a problem. And, you know, we've seen that happen in a number of places now.
Steve, the first time we saw it talked about white supremacy and things like that. Does that bother you? I know that you're a huge Donald Trump fan. And this is a narrative that it's going to continue, we know, particularly to mainstream media if he's a general election candidate. But that bothers you, doesn't it?
It bothers me, Charles, because it has nothing to do with the candidate and it has nothing to do with the issues that truly affect this nation. Look, there are multiple different organizations who are paying some of these protesters to come to push their agenda. The agenda should be free speech, as Jan just said. Give Donald Trump or Cruz or anybody who's running for president the ability to communicate with the American people. They are, in fact, denying that right.
You know, Jan, speaking, good. You want to add to that?
Yes, I did. What I would like to add is, at what point has anyone been able to nail Donald Trump down with doing or saying anything that is racist related? I'm so tired of the race card being thrown out without anything to substantiate it, and I still haven't heard it.
I think a lot of people point to the day he announced it, and people feel like he called all Mexican men rapists. And it's just sort of snowballed from there.
But that was media-driven. I'm sorry.
Well, it's all going to be media-driven.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. And Donald Trump was talking about sealing our borders, and the things that he said were factual about people coming across the border. And that doesn't have to do with race. That has to do with any people coming from all over the world, crossing into our borders and making us less safe.
And Charles, may I add, most of the people criticizing Trump over the wall, maybe they ought to think about taking the walls down around their homes, the security walls, the cameras. A lot of these people don't come from the neighborhoods that we come from, okay, where there's gangs, where there's tough people running around, where there's criminals. So my point is this. They could say all they want about that wall, but until the drug dealers go into their neighborhoods, until the gangsters start shooting in their neighborhoods, they'll continuously criticize Donald Trump. So you know what? Put the wall up.
Jan, I saw there was some news that was breaking right as we came to air. Apparently in California, there's been an effort, a petition regarding a pro-Second Amendment rally, if you will, or a cause, that Twitter cut off. They just simply cut it off without any answer. I mean, this is, again, we're talking about the elites. There's something they don't like, and what do you make of that? I mean, Hillary Clinton says she's going to go after guns. Barack Obama is going after guns. And then you get companies like Twitter, which, by the way, has done a terrible job with stopping ISIS, but now they go after the Second Amendment.
Right. Well, you know, Charles, the Twitter isn't alone. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg did the same thing on Facebook about selling guns. He stopped all gun sales from taking place. And, yes, there is this effort. But what I said yesterday, and I believe this fully, that these are private companies, and even though I don't like it, they do have a right to determine how their airspace, their cyberspace is being utilized. And if they want to make an ideological attack against guns or gun rights or anything related to the Second Amendment, that's certainly their right.
Yeah. You're wonderful, believe me, a little too nice. Look, my 38 years in law enforcement, Charles, I'm yet to see a criminal walk in and say, here's my gun. Those gun laws are victimizing people who want to protect their kids and their property.
All right, guys, let's leave it there. Well.